What if the most dangerous man in hip-hop wasn't the one sitting in a federal holding cell, but the one holding the camera? Because right now, Curtis Jackson, the man the world knows as 50 Cent, is allegedly sitting on footage so explosive that multiple sources close to the production have reportedly described it as, quote, the thing that breaks the whole industry open. And here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't just part 3 of a documentary. According to reports circulating across entertainment media, this may be the installment that, for the first time, pulls Jay-Z directly into the frame. Not as a bystander, not as a background name, front and center.
I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years, and I have given all the proofs of who was involved with Diddy. I have presented the videotape of Diddy's parties as evidence. Now no one can save Diddy and the other celebs. Jay-Z, all of them were Diddy's handlers. After watching the rest of the documentary, you'll understand.
Let's be very clear about something before we go any further. Everything involving Jay-Z, Sean Corey Carter, in this context is alleged, disputed, and in several cases actively denied by Carter himself and his legal team. None of it has been proven in a court of law. What we're walking through today is what's been reported, what's been claimed in civil litigation, and what people allegedly connected to 50 Cent's production have said publicly or privately. That distinction matters enormously. But here's the thing. The fact that these allegations are even circulating at the level they are, attached to a sitting federal case against Sean Combs, makes this one of the most legally and culturally significant documentary projects in streaming history. And 50 Cent, he's been saying for years that he saw all of this coming.
Documentary, 50 Cent talks about secret parties, closed-door gatherings, usher private rooms where cameras.
Go back to early 2024, before the raids, before the indictment, before the word freak-off became the most searched phrase in music journalism. 50 Cent was already posting, he was already tagging names, he was already publicly hinting, in that coded, deniable way he's famous for, that something enormous was about to surface about Sean Combs. People laughed. Blogs clowned him. Industry insiders reportedly told people privately to ignore it because 50 was just doing what 50 does, stirring the pot for attention. But then the lawsuit from Cassie Ventura dropped, and then the hotel hallway footage surfaced, and suddenly the man everybody had dismissed as a clout chaser was looking more like someone who had been reading the same documents that federal prosecutors had been reviewing for years.
Claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah. No, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
The confirmed facts of the Sean Combs case are staggering enough on their own. In September 2024, Sean Diddy Combs was arrested on federal charges including sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation for the purposes of prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty. His legal team has consistently maintained his innocence and has characterized many of the allegations against him as fabricated or exaggerated by opportunistic plaintiffs and a media environment hostile to powerful black men. Those are arguments that deserve to be heard. But the federal indictment, which is a confirmed public document, describes a pattern of alleged conduct spanning more than a decade, involving alleged coercion, alleged drugging of victims, and alleged use of employees and associates to maintain what prosecutors describe as a criminal enterprise. That last word, enterprise, is the word that makes this documentary matter, because an enterprise, by definition, has more than one person in it.
50 Cent has been working on this documentary for almost 2 years. The footage he has is insane. The people he got speaking about Diddy is ridiculous.
And that's where part 3 reportedly begins to go somewhere that earlier parts didn't fully commit to. People who claim to have knowledge of the documentary's direction, and again, this is reported, not confirmed, have suggested that 50 Cent's team has been building what they describe as a network map. Not just Sean Combs as an individual, not just his immediate staff or label associates, but an alleged broader ecosystem of people, events, and favors that reportedly connected the highest levels of hip-hop's commercial golden age, the late 90s and early 2000s, to what is now an active federal investigation. And one name, according to multiple reports and at least 2 civil lawsuit filings, keeps appearing in those alleged connections. Sean Corey Carter, Jay-Z.
A lot of people say I'm doing this out of revenge because we've got beef. I won't deny it. Me and Diddy have had issues. We've been going at it since 2006. He blocked Mace from signing with me. I dissed him in a track. He launched the vodka line. I launched mine. It's been a back and forth for years. You know why he's so desperate to shut this film down? Because he knows we found things. Footage, phone calls, conversations he recorded himself, contracts, NDAs, real receipts. But Diddy ain't the only problem. He's just a symbol. This industry is full of people like him smiling in the spotlight while pulling strings and hurting people behind the scenes. I don't make things up.
Now here is where things get complicated, and the details matter. Attorney Tony Busby, who has filed civil suits on behalf of dozens of alleged victims in the Combs case, did name Jay-Z in a civil complaint filed in late 2024. Jay-Z responded publicly and forcefully. He identified himself by his legal name, Sean Carter, and released a statement calling the claims false, describing the lawsuit as a shakedown. Carter also made the unusual move of revealing that Busby had allegedly attempted to settle privately before filing, an allegation Busby disputes. The civil complaint that named Jay-Z was later reportedly withdrawn or modified after Carter's response, though the underlying claims remain contested. None of what Busby alleged against Carter has been proven in court. Carter has not been charged with any crime. He has denied all wrongdoing completely and unequivocally.
Us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I
look,
will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows. Anna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest
Diddy isn't going down
deal.
quietly.
But here's the part driving the documentary conversation. 50 Cent has never been shy about the fact that his interest in this project is not purely journalistic. He and Jay-Z have had a complicated, layered, and sometimes openly hostile industry relationship going back more than 2 decades. There are people, serious media critics, not just gossip blogs, who have raised legitimate questions about whether 50 Cent's platform gives him the editorial distance required to cover someone he has publicly feuded with. That is a fair criticism, and it's one the documentary's credibility will ultimately have to answer. Because if the project is perceived as a vendetta wrapped in a true crime format, the industry will dismiss it regardless of what it contains.
Did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figure most journalists would not disclose their sources.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
According to entertainment reporters tracking the production, Part 3 allegedly goes beyond the social circle angle and begins to examine specific events, parties, gatherings, and what some people are calling industry rituals that allegedly occurred over a multi-year period and allegedly involved prominent figures across music, film, and media. The term rituals has triggered enormous speculation online and needs context. In the most straightforward reading, it appears to refer to recurring private events, parties with specific guest lists, strict rules about phones, and alleged dynamics involving power, access, and what multiple civil plaintiffs have described as coerced participation. There's another layer that most coverage glosses over, the alleged role of record labels, management structures, and business entities in what prosecutors describe as the criminal enterprise. When you read the federal indictment carefully, one of the things that stands out is the alleged use of legitimate business infrastructure to facilitate criminal activity. Employees allegedly made bookings, assistants allegedly coordinated logistics, business accounts allegedly moved money. That's not incidental. That's the architecture of what federal prosecutors call a RICO case, the idea that a normal-looking organization was allegedly being used as the shell for something deeply abnormal. 50 Cent's team has not officially confirmed the full scope of Part 3's content. What has been reported through entertainment media and through 50 Cent's own social media posts suggests the documentary may include testimony from individuals who were allegedly present at events connected to the Combs case, individuals who allegedly have knowledge of Jay-Z's alleged attendance at certain gatherings, and at least one individual claiming first-hand information about conduct that has not yet been publicly detailed. Streaming platforms have gotten extremely cautious since the wave of high-profile defamation actions following earlier celebrity documentaries. Netflix, in particular, has reportedly required additional legal review for projects that name living subjects in connection with criminal allegations. This may be part of why Part 3 has reportedly taken longer than expected to finalize. It's not just about compelling footage, it's about what a platform can legally stand behind when a subject like Sean Carter, one of the wealthiest and most legally resourced individuals in entertainment, has teams of attorneys reviewing every frame. And yet, 50 Cent has been unusually consistent. In multiple interviews and public statements, he has framed the documentary not as entertainment, but as accountability. He has invoked alleged victims in the Combs case and described the project as something he feels personally obligated to complete. Whether you see that as genuine advocacy or as a strategic reframing of a long-running feud is open to interpretation. The cultural stakes of this moment in hip-hop are hard to overstate. We're watching the mythology of the 90s and early 2000s hip-hop power structure, the labels, the moguls, the untouchable figures, being examined under a legal microscope. What prosecutors and plaintiffs describe is a system that may have allowed powerful figures to operate for years without scrutiny. What we know about Jay-Z's current legal position is straightforward. He has denied all allegations. His attorneys have aggressively challenged anyone making claims against him. He has not been charged with any crime and has not been publicly subpoenaed in the Combs case. Any documentary that includes his name in connection with the federal case will face an immediate and well-funded legal response. The timing of the documentary's reported release is also notable. The federal trial involving Sean Combs is expected to draw massive public attention, and releasing a documentary expanding the alleged circle of influence during that period would dramatically shape